So standard costing is the topic. This is your teacher Haris Bhatt, and you are seeing my YouTube channel. We are going to discuss the topic from A2 accounting, and that is from standard costing. And this question from standard costing A2 accounting has come in which paper? That is February-March 22-32. February-March 22-32. You might find such type of question in your exam also. Though it looks that this is a little bit easy paper, easy question, but you might find such type of question in your paper. So let's start doing this. So Y Limited produces one product. Budgeted units produced and sold for the month of July were 1,000. Further budgeted information for July was also available. Sales 2,50,000. Direct material $12 per kilo, 60,000. So I can find if you, although we don't require that, but I'm going to tell you because it will help you in future. So if I want you that what is going to be the budgeted quantity or budgeted kgs used, because that is $12 per kilo, 60,000 divided by 12. The answer is 5,000 kgs. So in the budget, basically, we have been using 1,000. We are producing 1,000 units. And on those 1,000 units, we are basically going for how many kgs we are going to use? 5,000 kgs. And if you talk about not 5,000 kgs, 60,000 divided by 12, it will come 5,000. Okay, right? So 5,000 kgs are used at the rate of 12 per kilo. So the amount is 60,000. But can you please tell me that on one unit, how many kgs are going to be used? That is 5,000 divided by 1,000. 5,000 divided by 1,000. So that is going to be 5 kg per unit. So 1,000 into 5, 1,000 units are produced. And on each unit, we are basically 5 kgs are used. So 5,000 kgs in total at the rate of 12 per kilo, which we have to pay for those kilos. So 60,000 is the direct material amount. Same is the case with direct labor. 25 per labor hour. So 1 lakh divided by 25. So hours which are being used is 25,000. But let's calculate that on each unit, how many hours are consumed. So 25,000 in total hours, total budgeted hours used for 1,000 units divided by 1,000. So 25 hour per unit we are consuming. So 1,000 units are basically produced. Each unit will require 25 hours. So total hours are 25,000. मेरे ख्याल में थोड़ी गलती हुई है थोड़ी सी. Just a minute. 1 lakh divided by 25 कितना आएगा बेटा? Calculation is wrong.
So 1 lakh divided by 25,000, I got 4,000.
4,000, yes.
25.
Yeah. So 4,000 hours are going to be used for on 1,000 units. So 4,000 divided by 1,000 will get 4 hours. So 1,000 units are produced and each unit will require 4 hours. So 4,000 hours, budgeted hours are consumed at the rate of $25 per labor hour. So the amount of direct labor cost will be 1 lakh. Now there is fixed overhead written 24,000. Always remember that fixed overhead cost is consumed according to the hours. It is written in the question also. Fixed overhead is to be absorbed on the basis of direct labor hours. And we know that the direct labor hours is going to be 4,000. That is 4 per hour. 4 hours per unit. That is 4,000. And the rate for fixed overhead is going to be 24,000 divided by 4, that is 6. This is how we can calculate different things, because regarding fixed overheads, neither the hours are given nor the overhead rate is given. This 6 means overhead absorption rate, as we used to study in absorption costing. What is the formula for that? Budgeted overhead cost divided by budgeted hours. So budgeted overhead cost kitni hai? 24,000 divided by budgeted hours, which are the same as direct labor hours. So it's 4,000 budgeted direct labor hours. So 6 is the $6 per labor hour is the overhead, fixed overhead rate. So we can write here $6 per labor hour. Maybe this particular part which I am solving, maybe this is not required in the question to that extent. But I am solving it for you. Why? Because it is going to help you in every single question which you are going to solve in the future regarding standard cost. That's why. आपके पास ये चीजें होनी चाहिए. कौन सी सर? बजटेड यूनिट्स कितने बन रहे हैं? एक यूनिट पर कितने केजी लग रहे हैं? एक यूनिट पर कितने आवर लग रहे हैं? और एक आवर कितनी कॉस्ट कर रहे हैं? एक केजी कितनी कॉस्ट कर रहे हैं? $12 per kilo like this. Same is the case with the fixed overhead, which are absorbed according to direct labor hours, but $6 per hour we are basically using. Okay, so let's move forward. The actual units produced and sold for July were 1120. So budgeted units are 1000, but the actual units are 1120. Prepare the flex budget to show the budgeted profit for the month of July. So now let's calculate the flex budget. What do you mean by flex budget? Flex budget means actual units at standard rate. I repeat, flexing the budget means that we are using the budgeted rate or standard rate, but we are going to multiply it with the actual units. So it is also known as actual at standard, and that will be known as flex budget. So let's prepare the flex budget. Sir, what do you mean by flex budget? It is basically an income statement, right? An income statement which is based on actual units, but the rate will be the standard one. So that is the flex budget. Flex budget means that the rate we will use is going to be the budgeted rate, but the units you are taking, that is actual units. And you have to prepare what? You have to prepare income statement. So that is going to be your flex budget. Let's calculate the flex budget. Yeah. We'll start with the revenue. I don't know revenue is given, or otherwise we have to find only cost. Yes, sales are given. That is 2,50,000. So let's find the rate, the selling price per unit, budgeted selling price per unit. 2,50,000 divided by 1,000. Because the units sold are 1,000. So that is going to be 250. 250 is the selling price per unit, budgeted selling price per unit. Now, we have to multiply it with the actual units. And actual units are 1120 as written here. So let's do that. I will write here sales 1120. Fateh, you will help. Anybody can help me. Multiply by 250. What is the answer?
280,000.
280,000. So I'll write here. Less cost of sales. Now, obviously, in cost of sales, we are supposed to write direct material, then we will write direct labor, and then we will write factory overheads or fixed overheads. Right? So let's see. Let's calculate direct material first. Direct material for 1120 units on actual unit 1120 multiplied by each single unit of consumes how many kgs we have calculated. It is going to consume 5 kgs. 5 kgs are consumed on each single unit multiplied by the rate we are paying for each kg. The price per kg is $12. 1,000. Sorry, 1,000 means 1120 actual units multiplied by 5. That is the kg per unit, and multiply by 12 price per kg. So let's do that. Multiply by what was the amount? 12. Okay. What is the amount now? What is the amount of direct material? We have used the standard rate, but
54,200.
units. 54,200.
So 67,200.
Okay, sorry. Okay, now we are going to calculate direct labor cost. 67,200. We will use the 1120, the actual units multiplied by the labor we consumed per unit. Labor per unit is 4, and the rate per hour, which is given in the question, budgeted rate we are using, that is 25 per labor hour. So 25. So what is going to be the amount now for direct labor cost?
11,200.
11,200. Okay, now we'll calculate the fixed overheads. Again, that is on actual units at standard rate multiplied by 4. Because I told you that the overheads are going to consume according to the labor hours. And the labor hour per unit is 4. So 1120 into 4 budgeted labor hour per unit multiplied by the rate per hour for overheads is 6. 4 into 6, we will get the answer of fixed overheads. This is $6 per hour labor hour for 4,000 hours. Yes. You can see here also if you want to.
26,880.
12 direct material, 25 and fixed overhead, 24,000 divided by 4,000. We'll get the $6 per labor hour. G, 26,000.
880.
So let's go for the total. We'll total it and then we will find the profit. Yes, what is the total now?
So 166080.
166080. Now you need to subtract it. You will get the profit for the year. Some other person can calculate with her so that we should not go upon any mistake.
113920.
11
3920.
20. So 113920 is going to be the profit. It is that is also known to be as the flex profit. That is known to be as the flex profit. I don't think so कि we got the right answer. This is 112000 है या मैंने गलत लिखा है?
सर ये जो टोटल आया है ये गलत आया है.
हाँ ये
000 है सर.
हाँ और दूसरा है सेकंड that is 1120 into 4 into 6 26880. That is right. Now what is the total?
Sir 206080.
Okay. 206
206
080.
08.
And the profit is going to be how much?
Sir 73920.
Okay. So profit is going to be 73920. So we are done with the flex budget. Now let's move forward. What is the next part of the question? State what is meant by the term variance analysis. Variance analysis is basically, it is the difference between the standard cost, the flexed budget, with the actual budget, in which we used to find variances regarding sales, material variances, labor variances, and overhead variances. It is used to compare the actual results with the standard results. And then we will find the difference between standard and actual, and what is the actual performance of the business and what is the standard performance of the business. And then variance analysis will be done to find the difference between actual performance and standard performance. And then we choose to take the corrective action through management by exception. Management by exception means that those variances which differ too much, we used to analyze those variances, that why there is a difference, why the cost is high, actual cost is more than the standard, and then we will take the corrective action. This is how we use to go for the variance analysis. Like we used to calculate the following: sales price variance, sales volume variance, direct material total variance, direct labor total variance, and fixed overhead total variance. I will calculate all the variances with you. Even the total variances sometimes has been asked you to prepare, but I will go for all the variances. So let's start. So first I'm going to solve the sales price variance. So let's start. Sales has two variances: sales price variance and sales volume variance. What is how sales price variance is calculated? It is the difference between the actual sales and the budgeted sales. So actual units multiplied by actual sale price, I mean, and then the budgeted or standard units multiplied by, actual units, because the difference we will take only regarding the into standard price. The price, there is only price difference in sales price variance. So actual units, we know that is 1120, and the actual price, let's see, actual results for the month of July is also available, right? Sales is 27760, direct material 11.8 per kilo, 72688, 25.5 per labor hour, 128520. Fixed overhead is also given, 25600. Okay, so the actual units produced and sold are 1120. So 277760 divided by 1120, we will get the actual sale price. So let's calculate that. I can write directly also, but sometimes it is required, so you should be able to calculate that. Should be able to calculate that. So 248 is the 27760 divided by 1120. 248 is the actual sale price. So 248. Now, actual units 1120 into standard price, that is going to be 250. Now let's calculate that. 1120 into 250 will be 2,80,000, as we have calculated already in our flex budget. And 1120 actual units into actual price, that is already given in the question. That is going to be 277,760. Okay. So now what is the difference between the two? Obviously, you are looking at the the standard sales is more than the actual. It means that we are having a negative answer. So it means that this is adverse variance, because
2240 adverse.
2240 adverse, because we want to sell it at 250, but we are selling it at 148. So that is adverse sales price variance. So let's go for the next variance, that is sales volume variance. So let me write it up from here. So let's do the sales volume variance. That is the difference between the actual units, which is given already, which we have calculated already upside in the sales price variance. The second part of the sales price variance we'll take in the same manner. That is actual units multiplied by standard price, and then the budgeted units, or the standard units, you can say, multiplied by the standard price. The price will remain the same. It is always standard. But now the units are changed. That is why it is known as sales volume units. The actual units is 1120, multiplied by standard price is 250. The answer is going to be 2,80,000. Now the budgeted units are going to be how much? If you just see the question, you have to go back. The budgeted units are 1,000. Remember? So 1,000 multiplied by standard price, which is 250. So the amount is going to be how much? That is 2,50,000. So the difference is going to be positive. That is 30,000, because we were supposed to sell 1,000 units, but we are selling 1120. This is going to be favorable. So this is how we are done with sales price variance and sales volume variance. Let's calculate total sales variance. सर वो तो रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है. यस, नहीं रिक्वायर्ड, फिर भी मैं करवा रहा हूँ समझाने के लिए. टोटल सेल्स वेरिएंस बेटा फर्क होता है फर्स्ट का और लास्ट का, क्योंकि ये दो जो सेल्स प्राइस एंड सेल्स वॉल्यूम वेरिएंस हैं, दे आर बेसिकली द distribution of the detailed discussion of the same. So that will be actual units into actual price, actual into actual, and standard into standard, or budgeted units into standard price. So let's do that. I'm not going to write the amount here because I have the amounts already. Actual units actual price is 277,760, and budgeted units into standard price is 2,50,000. We can calculate the difference. It is obviously favorable. It is coming positive. It's a favorable total sales variance. But it is going to be 277,760. Sorry, how much it is going to be?
Sir, 27760.
Yeah, so that is going to be favorable. If you just add up the adverse and favorable variance of sales price and sales volume, you will get the same answer. That is total sales variance favorable ही आएगा. अब चलते हैं जी हम आगे इस पे material variances के ऊपर. So rather than calculating the total material variance, I am going to calculate the material price variance. So the formula for material price variance is actual quantity or actual kg into actual price. Same pattern, then actual quantity into standard price. Let's see. Okay, so actual quantity is going to be how much? We have to calculate that. You will help me. 72688 divided by 11.8. That is 6160. So I will write here 6160 actual quantity multiplied by actual price 11.8. Although it is written, but I'm calculating it just for you to analyze the things. 72688 is the answer here. I'll write here 72688. इसको हम हटा देते हैं. Then actual quantity, which is 6160 multiplied by standard material price, that is 12. So what is the answer? We have calculated it already. So where? So actual quantity into standard price. And how much it is the amount is going to be 6160 multiplied by 12. That is 73920. So calculate, take the difference of this. What is the answer? That is coming negative, I think so. Sir, how you have calculated actual quantity? Let me see you. 72688 is going to be the total material, actual material price divided by 11.8 per kilo, which is the actual price. So we'll get the actual quantity. So actual quantity into actual price, the actual quantity into standard price. So 73920. So what is the difference? 72688 minus 73920, 1232. So 1232 basically is coming negative. Always remember the negative in cost variances means that it is favorable variances, not adverse. Why, sir? Because we are supposed to purchase the material at a price of 12 per kilo, but we are purchasing at 11.8 per kilo in actual. So that's why it is favorable. So material price variance is favorable because we are purchasing at a lesser price. Now we are going to do the material usage variance. So that is going to be the first part of the first variance will take second part of the actual quantity into standard price. मतलब आप you can think like that. This will come from here oh, sorry, यहाँ से actual quantity का जो portion है वो तो चले जाएगा. So that is 6160 multiplied by standard price, which is 12, and the amount is 73920. And then we will calculate the standard quantity. So this is going to be a difficult task for the students normally, to finding the standard quantity multiplied by standard price. The standard price is quite simple because we are already done with the standard price, that is 12. But standard quantity means here actual at standard. Actual at standard मतलब actual units per standard के हिसाब से कितने kg लग रहे हैं. बेटा एक्चुअल यूनिट्स कितने हैं 1120 और एक्चुअल यूनिट्स पर स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से कितने केजी लग रहे हैं 5. We have prepared that already in the flex budget also. So 1120 into 5 will be having our standard quantity. That is 5600. So we will write 5600, not the budgeted quantity. We will not write budgeted quantity. We will write the standard quantity, which means that actual units per standard के हिसाब से कितने केजी लग रहे हैं. Repeat करता हूँ दोबारा देखें. Actual units कितने बेटा 1120 और स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से एक यूनिट पर कितने केजी लग रहे थे 5. कैसे सर 5000 केजी निकाले नहीं थी हमने डिवाइडेड बाय 1000 तो वो आपके पास आए थे 5 पर केजी. तो उससे मैंने इसको सॉल्व किया है. तो 5600 इंटू 12 कितना आ जाएगा आंसर दैट इज 67200. वो हम ऑलरेडी ऊपर कैलकुलेट किया भी हुआ है मैंने 67200. नाउ द डिफरेंस विल टेक एंड दैट विल बी आवर वेरिएंस -73920 that is 6720 and this variance is again adverse. Positive आ रहा है ना आंसर but the variance is adverse, not favorable. Why sir? Because we are supposed to on these particular units of 1120 we are supposed to uh, how many kgs should be used 5600 according to standard but we are using 6160. हम ज्यादा एक्चुअल क्वांटिटी यूज कर रहे हैं मटेरियल ज्यादा यूज कर रहे हैं तो इसलिए आपका मटेरियल जो है वो यूजेज वेरिएंस जो है वो आपका क्या आ रहा है एडवर्स आ. नाउ वी विल फाइंड द लेबर रेट वेरिएंस. No, we will find the total material variance because in the question he has basically asked us to find the total variances. But I am calculating all of them just to make you understand. So let's calculate the total material variance. ये फर्क किसका होता है सेम केस सेम पैटर्न. क्या बेटा मटेरियल वेरिएंसेस के अंदर जो आपने कैलकुलेट किया है प्राइस वेरिएंस में पहला और यूजेज वेरिएंस का लास्ट. एक्चुअल इनटू एक्चुअल स्टैंडर्ड इनटू स्टैंडर्ड. So I will do that right here. Actual quantity into actual price and then standard quantity into standard price. So this will come actual quantity into actual price, standard quantity into standard price. So we are already done with that. We have calculated that this is 72688 here and 7272688 and 67200. And right here 72688 and the second one was 67200. What is the difference now?
5488.
548. You can write it over here if you want to. If you want to write actual quantity, that is 6160 into actual price is how much? Let me see. If you want to write 11.8, it will give you the same answer because we've already calculated that. And the standard quantity is 5600. And the standard price is going to be 12. You will get 67200. And this is 5488 and this is negative. So this 5488 is going to be the favorable. Total material variance is favorable 5488. So let's add them up. If you add the material price variance 1232 favorable and 6720 adverse, you will get 6720 73 positive or adverse and minus favorable. You will get overall 5488 and that is the adverse variance. So here I have write the answer is negative. Actual quantity. The answer is positive. Okay, sorry. That is why we are going to have adverse variance. Right? Because 72688 minus 67200 positive answer, but the variance will be adverse. Why, sir? Because it means that the actual cost is more than the standard cost. Costing में तो opposite होता है ना. अगर actual cost standard cost से ज़्यादा होगी तो हमें नुकसान होगा. इसलिए नुकसान हो रहा है adverse variance आ रहा है. Okay. So this is how we are done with the total material variance. Now I will go for the calculation of labor variances. I will calculate labor rate variance and labor efficiency variance and then total labor variance. And then we will calculate fixed overhead total variance, not only total. I will go for the distribution also. There are two variances of fixed overhead expenditure, and fixed overhead volume variance. Then the director then considered further analysis of the variance in direct materials. We are done with that. Calculate the two variances which combine to give the direct material total variance. Explain the likely cause of the variance calculated in this particular. देखते हैं हम likely cause देख लेते हैं ना इसमें. So the cause is going to be this, that because material price is, we are basically purchasing low quality material, right? And that is why low quality material, which is not expensive, cheap material, that is why the wastage is high and we are utilizing the material more than the requirement. You have to join the class again to complete the question, right? So join the class again after 8 minutes.